Good morning, everyone. It is February the 19th. It is snowing. We are possibly going to get more snow than the dusting or no snow that they told us. We have 2 hour delays. We had people that forgot how to drive on snow in the Midwest. I'm looking at everybody. Good morning, Christine and Squab Bob, 80s Music Man, Alice G. Good morning. Yeah, so it is an S show out. I have teen girls deciding whether they're even going to try to drive into school or if they can do like e-learning themselves. So it is chaos. And unfortunately, we have to start with a heartbreaking, news story. Again, I'm not going to get into the political stuff on this because look, if really, really smart people don't know how to fix the Mesopotamia, I am not going to be able to fix it. So I will give you the news, but it is heartbreaking and just sad. But I feel like their names need to be said and they need to be remembered. Hamas says that Kafir and Ariel Bibes, 2 and 5 years old, and also their mother, are deceased, and their bodies will be sent back to Israel this week. So I know that their families had been holding out hope that they would have been okay. These are some of the hostages of the October 7th attack. And, we were waiting and waiting and hoping that they would come home safe, but that is not the case, unfortunately. Hamas's youngest hostages, Kafir, and I hope I'm saying that right, and Ariel Bibas, 2 and 5 years old, along with their mother, are deceased, and their bodies will be returned to Israel this week, the terror group said in a ghoulish announcement on Tuesday. Kafir Bibas never celebrated a birthday in freedom after he and his family were kidnapped on October 7th, 2023, when he was just 9 months old. Israel has not confirmed the death of the two red-headed boys and their mother, Shiri, but said it had grave concerns about their well-being. And I'd rather us have a picture like this of them just being a happy family, because that's how I want them to be remembered. And look at those cutie patootie little boys, just two little redheads with the curly hair, and not even fake redheads like me, which, it's just, we have a good story after this, I promise. Kafir and Ariel's father, Yarden, was released alive by Hamas earlier this month. In a statement, the Bibas family said it was aware of Hamas's claims. Within the past few hours, we have been in turmoil following Hamas's spokesperson's announcement about the planned return of our Shuri, Ariel, and Kafir this Thursday as a part of the hostage remain release phase, the statement read. We want to make it clear that while we are aware of these reports, we have not yet received any official confirmation regarding this matter. Until we receive definitive confirmation, our journey is not over. The terror group's leader in Gaza, Khalil al-Hahil, said that the bodies of 4 hostages would be handed over on Thursday, while 6 living hostages, some held for over a decade, will be returned on Saturday. The 6 to be released on Saturday are the last living hostages to be freed under the ceasefire's first phase. 3 had originally been expected to be freed. Hamas has named 2 of the 6 Israelis to be freed on Saturday as Yavera Mengitsu and Hisham al-Assad, who were kidnapped in 2014 and 2015, respectively, after crossing into Gaza. Now, Israel has said that both hostages were suffering from mental health issues at the time. It is not immediately clear why Hamas has changed the plan, but an Israeli official told the Associated Press that Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu had agreed to allow mobile homes and construction equipment into Gaza as residents begin to return to their homes and try to rebuild after the 15 months of war. Now, Hamas last week threatened to hold up the release of hostages, citing the refusal to allow supplies to come in, along with other alleged violations of the ceasefire deal. Hostage releases have come in exchange for hundreds of Palestinian prisoners held by Israel. So this does go on into more of the minutia of it, but this is a heartbreaking story. My thoughts and prayers go out to this family. I can't imagine to have your whole family wiped out. I hope smart people can just figure this out. I am not learned enough to have any great opinion on this, but come on, smart people, do something. Now, in a palate cleanser after that, uh, you know, I collect Sailor Moon stuff, but I can actually say that I would never collect a brick. But an Oklahoma man has boasted the world's largest collection of bricks. As you do, bricks, just all the time. An Oklahoma man's family surprised him with a Guinness World Record for his collection of 8,882 different kinds of bricks. Clem Rakenmeyer, 87, was out of town when his daughter Celia and son-in-law Dan Bissett gathered a group of friends to count and document each item in his Tulsa brick barn. Rakenmeyer returned home and was surprised with an official certificate for the world's largest collection of bricks. I got back in town and it was a big surprise. I'm happy to have this certificate, he told Guinness World Records. Rakenmeyer's collection, which he's been amassing for over 40 years, includes a Roman brick from AD 100, but most date from the last few hundred years. The break tide for making bricks was about 1870 to 1910, he said. A special kind of brick like that has a certain clay that withstands heat, and everyone needed a fireplace. He said some of his most valuable bricks were those with misspellings, such as one that reads Tulsa with a backwards S. Who the hell's buying bricks? And Wolfram is fine. He had jury duty, so he will be back. I promise. I didn't send him out to Pastor or Snake Island or anything. He is just doing his civic duty and hopefully not having to deal with a god-awful kiddo case. Because that was my biggest fear doing jury duty. It wasn't so much that I would be kicked out for my, cotton candy hair. It was that I would be picked and it would be a kid case. Because I know I'm not good with those all the time. Well, okay, I'm good with them when I'm watching a stream and they don't show the pictures. And as a jury member, I would have to see those pictures. So, as the world's worst Christian, it was one of those anxiety prayers at 3 a.m. in the morning before jury duty. Like, hey, God, I know we haven't talked in a while and I'm kind of sucking at all this Christian stuff, but if you could make, so I wouldn't have to do a kid trial, that would be awesome. Again, these are my prayers. And God made me. He knows what he's dealing with. I think Oklahoma has a history for the most misspelled bricks, he said. I don't know why. The collector said that one of his favorites is a sidewalk brick made at a Washington facility that is located where the Pentagon now stands. There may be some of these under the Pentagon, he said, but I think this is one of the kind. He said bricks interest him because of the history they hold. What appealed to me about bricks is that they have names and you can trace them back historically to places, and that's what intrigued me. It's unusual, but I like it, he said. Well, there you go. So if you want to get into a hobby, you can collect bricks. Just have a barn where you can store them. In legal news, Rihanna has broken her silence after her boyfriend, ASAP Rocky, his assault trial verdict. Now, I will show you just how hip I am with the kids. I didn't know that this guy was dating Rihanna. So, yeah, that shows how absolutely hip with the young people I am. Rihanna has spoken out after her boyfriend, ASAP Rocky, was found not guilty on 2 felony counts of assault with a semi-automatic firearm in Los Angeles on Tuesday. The 9-time Grammy winner, 36, rushed to social media just moments after a jury reached their verdict following a nearly 4-week trial. I love how the videos never have anything to do with the article. The glory belongs to God and God alone, the Kiss It Better hitmaker wrote in an Instagram story she shared with her 150 million followers on the platform. Thank you, humbled by his mercy. The rapper, also 36, faced up to 24 years in prison if convicted of the assault stemming from an alleged 2021 altercation with his former friend, ASAP Riley? Really, Riley? Okay. Let's see. Victorian London was built with bricks. Battersea Power Station has over 4 million. Well, there you go. Don't tell him he'll want to come steal a brick. After hearing the verdict read aloud in court, ASAP Rocky, whose real name is Rakeem Mayers, leapt into his girlfriend's arm in the courtroom. During the emotional moment, the Praise the Lord rapper almost collapsed as he grabbed his legal team before returning to Rihanna and his loved ones who were seated in the first row. The sundress hitmaker and his family breathed a collective sigh of relief as he hugged Rihanna, real named Robin Fenty, following the acquittal. Now, in a clip streamed by Extra, the Love on the Brain singer was seen clutching onto Rocky before sharing a passionate kiss in the wake of the ruling. Outside the courthouse, Rocky's lawyer, Joe Tacopina, sorry, I wanted to say Tropicana, but I do like that it's taco and pina. Both words that I can say when I break them down and put them together. Showed the couple who share 2 kids with them, or together, some love. They were seriously the greatest people, and I said I love them, and I really do love them, Tacopina told reporters. I got emotional in my summation because I care about them. This is one of the happiest days of my life, and I'm happy for them that they've earned this and deserve it, he added. The rapper chimed in, jokingly calling excuse me, his lawyer ASAP Joe and prompting laughs from the crowd. Rocky was charged with 2 felony counts in 2022 after Relly claimed that Effin' Problems rapper had shot him outside a Hollywood parking garage the year before. The rapper vehemently denied the allegations, with his legal team claiming that the weapon that Rocky was in possession of the time was a prop force multiplier that he carried for his security. Now, police found no physical evidence of a shooting when they searched the alleged crime scene. However, Riley reportedly presented shell casings to the police days later, claiming that he had collected them from the shooting scene. At one point in the trial, Rocky also turned down a plea deal offered by prosecutors that included a 180-day jail term. Rihanna, for her part, had been present at each hearing during the trial. The Fenty Skin and Beauty founder even brought the duo's 2 children, RZA1 and Riot2. Raza? Look, I don't know how you spell RZA or how you say it. And Riot to the courtroom last week. So there you go. And welcome Factual Eye, Jem, Kiwi Green, and Greedy Bloke. Hey Joe and Christy Marie, welcome. So that's interesting. Y'all, like the places I can go to take a vacation in the ocean are getting nightmarishly small. A tourist who lost both of her hands to a shark tried to protect herself from a second attack can only be described as a nightmare. Yeah, I'm never going to the ocean again. Just after Jaws, I think we all should have known better. Also, ladies, I love that this is real. Again, when we all bend over, we all have a little pudular area. Let's get over it. I don't know why I decided to make that statement when we're talking about a lady getting her arms bitten off by a shark, but honestly, hating your body sucks too. Not the same level of suck, but, still bad. A tourist who had both of her hands bitten off by a shark in Turks and Caicos had put them up to try to protect herself as the shark came near her a second time after biting her thigh, her family said, calling it something that can only be described as a nightmare. A 55-year-old woman was swimming off the Providenciales, the main island in the Caribbean archipelago, and had just hit hip-deep water on February 7th when a 7-foot bull shark attacked her brother-in-law, Al Sharavi? something French and haughty sounding, detailed in an online fundraiser seeking help covering medical costs. After bumping into her leg in the shallows, the shark then circled around and sank its jaws into her thigh. Sharif said both in English and in French of his brother's wife, whom he did not otherwise identify. They must be from Montreal or Quebec. Not satisfied, the shark came back again, and when she put both hands in front of herself to protect herself, the shark bit off both of her hands, one at mid-forearm and the other at the wrist, he continued. The woman's husband, a 30-year veteran of the Canadian Armed Forces, jumped into the water to help manage and wrangle, her away from the shark, and stayed between her and the shark until she walked out of the water and collapsed on the beach. Good husband move. That is a, protector kind of move. The victim's relative did not indicate whether she had been trying to take a photograph with the giant fish, as claimed by the Turks and Caicos Department of Environmental and Coastal Resources. Disturbing photos from the scene show panicked bystanders in swimwear surrounding the woman as she's laying in pain on the sand, attempting to hold cloths over her wrist to curb the bleeding. She was rushed to a local hospital on the island for initial treatment, but was flown back to Canada for additional surgeries and treatment, said Chavray, who is from Quebec. Now, I apologize to the entirety of Quebec for how I, say all of the Frenchy words. It's just, I can't do it. I don't know if it's like ingrained DNA Midwest that I just can't do French. I don't know. While on vacation, that's supposed to be relaxing, my sister-in-law and her husband, my brother, lived what can only be described a nightmare, he wrote on a, fundraiser page. His brother and sister-in-law's lives have been completely altered in a blink of an eye. Thompson Cove Beach was shut down but reopened February 9th. The same day, 2 American tourists were attacked by a shark in the Bahamas. Shark attacks are relatively rare off the coast of Turks and Caicos, with only one unprovoked, attack confirmed last year, according to the University of Florida's International Shark Attack File, which tracks such data. However, in 2023, a 22-year-old Connecticut woman had her leg bitten off, off, by a shark while snorkeling near a resort, also on the Providenciales Island. I don't know who needs to hear this, but do not try to take a selfie with a shark. That's a bad idea, okay? I mean, I didn't think I'd have to tell people that, but don't take selfies with sharks. I mean, okay? Are we all on the same page now? I didn't think that we'd need that, but, don't swim with sharks. The more you know. Well, maybe you should start buying those lottery tickets and eating those little Debbies, because the end is nigh, according to NASA. So let's see what the NASSholes are saying. I call them that because they understand math, and I'm jealous and envious. NASA's odds of a city-killing asteroid hitting the Earth just went up to the highest probability ever. Well, I'm going to invest in the Haktua Bitcoin then. Come on now, let's all invest in spam. Are we about to get rocked? NASA just increased the odds that the city-killer asteroid YR4 2024 will strike our planet in 2032. The space agency claimed that the dangerous space rock is now has a now 1 in 38 chance, or 2.6% chance, of hitting home, the highest probability of a collision yet, New Science reports. When the asteroid was initially discovered on December 2024, the odds of a strike were clocked at 1 in 83, before increasing to 1 in 67, then to 1 in 53, then to 1 in 48 or 43, and now the current frightening figure is that. Meanwhile, the European Space Agency's odds are slightly lower at about 2.4%. Since late January, NASA has designated YR4 a level 3 on the Torino scale, standing for a rubric, the danger of NEOs, or near Earth objects, that measure over 65 feet in diameter and have a 1% or greater chance of deep impact. Now, according to the scale, this asteroid is a close encounter meriting attention by astronomers and boasts a 1% or greater chance of collision capable of localized destruction. If Earth were to get rocked by YR4, which measures about 131 to 295 feet in diameter, the resultant energy blast would be equivalent to 8 megatons of TNT, or roughly 500 times the power of the atomic bombs dropped in Hiroshima and Nagasaki, The Independent reported. Well, there you go. I guess I'm not going to live on Twinkies and Peeps. Dang. This would be especially devastating given that YR4's projected trajectory spans 8 of the world's most populated cities, including Bogota in Colombia, Laos in Nigeria, Mumbai and Chennai in India, with the total at-risk population clocking in at about 110 million people. Fortunately, we don't have to batten down the hatches just yet. The odds could come back down in the future. Just because it's gone up in the last week doesn't mean that it's going to continue to do that, assured Hugh Lewis, a professor of astronautics in the University of Southampton, UK. It's possible that the asteroid 2024 YR4 will be ruled out as an impact hazard, as has happened with many other objects that have previously appeared on NASA's asteroid risk list. So, I have a question then. If this is one of many near-Earth objects that are at this particular designation, is this a money grab? Are you nassholes trying to take more money from us to send rockets not to Mars? Because this seems interesting if there are plenty of these that, are within this sort of parameter. But this one has made big news because, Doge is coming out. Now, this is all tinfoil hatty and, take it with all of a, bonus pack of ramen noodle sodium content. But it does seem a little, let's just say, coinky dinky that, the government is going in this big, hey, let's not spend frivolous money. And all of a sudden NASA's like, hey, you need us. You really, really need us because Bruce Willis has retired. I don't know. I call shenanigans, but I'm a suspicious person. And I've had like 3 hours of sleep. So I'm going to say possibly shifty. Besides, they use math and I just don't understand it. Let's see here. As has happened with many other objects that have previously appeared on NASA's asteroid risk list, seconded NASA's Molly L. Wazer in a blog post. It's also possible its impact probably will continue to rise. She ultimately declared that its impact probability will be better known as we obtain more observations of the asteroid's orbit. Unfortunately, we're running out of time to predict the risk. The asteroid will fly back behind the sun in April, putting it out of sight for most of Earth's terrestrial telescopes until it comes back into view in 2028. Scientists plan to glean as much info as they can in the interim by using the James Webb Space Telescope, which could help pinpoint the rock's size by using its infrared instruments to study the heat emanated by it. Now, in turn, this will allow researchers to determine the level of damage it could cause if it does strike our planet. Well, probably. But in case you're just another sign, though. And I do wonder if all of these stories were picked to kind of ratchet up our fear or uncertainty. But it's in the weird but true. A doomsday fish has washed up on the beach, sparking disaster fear. Something bad is going to happen. I mean, this poor fish is a cool, like metallic-y, rainbowy color. It looks like an opal. Why does it have to be a doomsday fish? Maybe it's a fabulous fish. Did anyone ask the fish if it wanted to be called the doomsday fish? I mean, because it looks like that is a cool looking fish. I say we call it the Preceder of Awesomeness or the Fabulous Fish. A rare doomsday creature known as the oarfish has washed ashore in the Canary Islands, sparking fear that a disaster is on our doorstep. Generally residing at depths of up to 3,200 feet, this elusive fish was found by bathers on the coast of Playa Quamada, as seen in a video with over 9 million views on Instagram, Jam Press reported. A rare oarfish has come ashore, the caption read. In the clip, a bather can be seen approaching the shimmery orange-fringed fish in a bid to save it. This particular specimen appeared to be several feet in length, much smaller than their max size of 56 feet, the longest of any bony fish. Unfortunately, the resplendent critter's journey to the surface likely didn't bode well for the beast. Shallow swimming oarfish are typically sick or even dying, scientists claim. The creature's presence is believed to be unlucky for humans as well. I love it. You know, there is nothing a tourist will not take a picture of themselves holding in a bathing suit. I love it. I love that there is nothing, like, you get to a certain age, you're like, honey, I'm in my swimsuit, but I'm going to take a picture of this fish, and we're going to show it to the grandchildren. Waiting to be that particularly just, great. According to Japanese mythology, the serpent-like plankton eaters will purposefully rise to the surface and beach themselves whenever they sense trouble on the horizon. Good morning, Jedi Jess and Denise Bergensen, JKD Buck. Welcome, welcome. In fact, doomsday fears ramped up during 2011 and the Fukushima earthquake and tsunami when dozens of the pelagic beast washed ashore in the 2 years preceding the catastrophe. Instagram commenters seem to believe the latest emergence was a scary sign of the apocalypse. Something bad is going to happen, fretted one, while another one wrote they show up before natural disasters. Usually it means an earthquake is coming when it appears on the surface of the water, said a third. In August, an oarfish was found in La Jolla Cove just 2 days before a 4.6 earthquake shook Los Angeles. However, experts were quickly, there to dismiss this as a giant fish tail. Quote, the link to reports of seismic activity goes back many years. However, there is no scientific evidence of a connection. So I don't think people need to worry, said Hiroke Motomura, a professor of ichthyology in Kashoshima University. I believe these fish tend to rise to the surface when their physical condition is poor, rising on water currents, which is why they are so often dead when they are found. Welcome, Nick. I hope you are getting some rest and healing. Welcome, Fisher Lady, and all raiders. I was looking at the article trying to piece together Japanese names, so welcome, raiders. I think I saw something pop up. If not, I am sorry. All right, Lord Chippy operators, and attendants to your stations. We've got contestants, or people you need to meet. These, 3 genetic missing links decided to deal with a romance-love quadrangle, with a sword. Jealous young man who recruited 2 girls to help him murder romantic rival with sword pleads guilty. Yeah, I'm guessing you're going to leave a lot of evidence behind with a sword. A young man pled guilty on Tuesday to killing his romantic rival with a sword after recruiting 2 friends to help. Andre Clemens, 20 years old, was sentenced to 40 years in prison for murder, tampering with evidence, and conspiracy to commit murder, according to NBC Miami. He apologized in court, saying he would give his life to bring back Dwight DJ Grant. A friend of Grant's family, however, reportedly told the outlet that those were just words and did not do anything to ease their suffering. Dwight's mother, Madeline Emile, reportedly told the court, quote, "I never walked my son down the aisle. He will never come say anything to me because he's not here. He's resting in power. All the good things my son did, the memories will always be with me," end quote. Clemens, 17 at the time of the crime, dragged down two girls with him. Christine Parison and Jaleesa Smith were respectively 17 and 16 when they helped him in the fatal attack. Parison helped lure Grant to a stairwell where Clemens and Smith confronted him. Clemens stabbed him to death. Both, however, told the authorities on interrogation footage that they did not expect a killing. "I didn't think he meant it like actual murder," Parison told the cops on October 23, 2021. Do not talk to cops without an attorney because, yeah, you telling them, look, he really totally didn't premeditate this. We thought we were just going to be, grievously assaulting him. Doesn't really change that you will be charged with homicide. Like, just because you didn't intend, for him to expire, that doesn't mean anything. Andre told me that someone had pissed him off, or someone that was messing with someone else's girl or something. It had to do with some type of chick. That he was upset and he needed some kind of backup for a fight. Separately told the police with her mother at the side on October 19th, 2021. He told me it was just a fight. Why are you recruiting girls to fight with you? I have a lot of questions. Both have pled guilty to second-degree murder, tampering with evidence, and conspiracy to commit murder, and were sentenced to 25 years in prison. So he got 40 years, and the two females with him got 20 years. And maybe learn some skills beyond stabulating people. And proof that my deep and fiery dislike of Kevin Spacey is definitely both necessary and vital. I'm just kidding. I saw Kevin Spacey in a headline and someone hating on him, and I'm gonna click because I'm me and it's Kevin Spacey. Guy Pearce claimed that aggressive Kevin Spacey targeted him on LA Confidential set. Well, Guy Pearce, I'm not going to lie, but me and Kevin Spacey might have been hitting on you both, okay? So, for once, I agree with Kevin Spacey. Mark that down on your calendars, people. This might never happen again. But Guy Pearce is a silver fox, and I'm a silver fox hunter. Guy Pearce has claimed that scandal-scarred actor Kevin Spacey, quote-unquote, targeted him on their set of their 1997 crime film, LA Confidential. The brutalist actor, who has just received his first Oscar nomination for the project, recalled his interactions with Spacey, 65, and admitted he felt scared and uncomfortable. I probably was a victim to a degree. I certainly not a victim by any means to the extent that other people have been to people like Kevin Spacey allegedly in Minecraft. Do not come after me. You're already broke, sir. Pearce said on the Hollywood Reporter's Awards Chatter podcast. Still, Pearce admits that he brushed off the House of Cards actors' alleged actions for nearly a half a year. That's nothing. Oh, that's nothing, he said, recalling what he told himself at the time. I did that for 5 months, and really I was sort of scared of Kevin because he's quite an aggressive man. He's extremely charming and brilliant at what he does, really impressive. He holds a room remarkably, but I was young and susceptible, and he targeted me, no question, Pearce added. The Memento star, 57, starred opposite Spacey and Russell Crowe in the 1997 film, which was based on a novel by James Ellroy. Pearce was 29 at the time. Welcome, Shizzy. And all Shizzy Raiders, welcome. Elsewhere, Pearce, who also previously claimed that Spacey was a handsy guy, recalled telling his then-wife, Kate Mitsitz, that he only felt safe on set when a fellow actor, Simon Baker, was around. The only days I feel safe are the days when Simon Baker is on set because I'm dumped like a hot potato, and Kevin focuses on Simon because he was 10 times prettier than I am. Interesting. Not Danny DeVito, Kevin Spacey. You couldn't, love a bear? Kevin Spacey has a type, and apparently they're pretty. He just couldn't love Danny DeVito. He just can't see what's inside. Spacey fired back at Pierce on X with a nearly 2-minute video rebuttal. Well, nothing says nothing happened like a 2-minute internet rebuttal. Grow up, Guy Pearce, Spacey said. You're not a victim. I've now read comments that you've made about me, and while I would prefer not to have this play out in the media, you obviously have your own reasons for wanting to do exactly that, the actor stated in a clip, speaking directly to Pierce. Ooh, speaking directly, but in your own house to someone else over the internet. Could we get any more passive-aggressive? No. Am I here for it? Abso-effing-lutely. Let's go with the passive-aggressiveness. If I did something then that upset you, you could have reached out to me. But I'm such a queen that I would have acted like a tart. He didn't write that. We could have had that conversation, but instead you decided to speak to the press, who are now, of course, coming after me because they would like to know what my response is to things that you have said. Now, did I do that with enough pausing and gravitas to be Kevin Spacey? Not Kevin Bacon. I can't dance. The Oscar winner then asked, did you also, by the way, tell the presser that a year after we shot LA Confidential, you flew to Savannah, Georgia, while I was shooting Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil just to spend time with me? You can't quit me. You had me at hello. What is going on here? Again, the absolute passive-aggressive 14-year-old girlness of this is delicious in a, this is not a productive way to deal with anything sort of way. Spacey suggested maybe there is another reason Pierce doesn't like spending time with him. But that doesn't make any sense that you would have just, been leading me on, right? He asked the Brutalist star. But here, now you're on a mission some 28 years later, after I've been through hell and back to do what? Kevin Spacey, you have neither boobs nor a fallopian tube, nor are you 14 years old, nor has your mother told you you can't get something from Hot Topic. This level of 14-year-old girl entitlement, just boo-hooery, is absolutely unbecoming on a man who's nearly 70. But, you do you. Spacey then challenged Pierce to have a live stream conversation. Oh my God, you guys, if this happens, popcorn, adult beverage, perhaps a gummy. We are there for the fucking ration. And excuse my French, but we are there. So what's going on here? What took you so long? Did your horse run out of gas? Mixed metaphor, horses don't run out of gas. You could say, did your motorcycle run out of gas? But horse does not work in that context. Now, being that he's an actor and doesn't actually write the lines that he pretends to feel, I can understand that. I mean, do you want to have a conversation? I'm happy to. Anytime, any place, as long as it's on public, so that I can cry that single Meryl Streep tear when I say how you hurt me, Pierce. I would like to also say how Pierce has hurt me by not dating me. Kevin Spacey, if I could be invited. Spacey was infamously banished from Hollywood because, well, he's a creeper, allegedly. In 2017, after allegations of SA were leveled against him by, just hordes of young men. The American Beauty star was accused of committing SA against four men between 2024 and 2013 while he was serving as artistic director at London's historic Old Vic Theatre. He was charged with 9 separate counts, including SA and causing a person to engage in penetrative SA without consent. He denied all allegations. Now, the two-time Oscar winner was deemed innocent in July 2023 and acquitted of all 9 charges. He also won an SA case against an alleged victim and fellow actor Anthony Rapp in 2022. The Unusual Suspects star also publicly came out as gay. I don't care if you're gay, Kevin Spacey. I think we all knew before you did, which is fine. Look, sweetheart, it is fine. Be as gay and out there as you want. Just do not do it unconsensually. Like, can we just be like, yes, do whatever you want. I would not particularly like you to tell me about it unless I ask, but I'm A-okay with you doing whatever the hell you want with a consenting adult. Now, when we start bringing farm animals or children or people that don't consent into it, I get issues. Well, I try not to on Mornings with Mo because I know that people will have this on in their car and I know that moms might be taking kiddos to school, so I don't want to, even though the stories I cover are not generally kid appropriate, I still don't want them to hear, F this, F that. During my petty streams, I kind of get that out, but during Mornings with Mo, I try to be a little bit family-ish friendly. Well, this is terrifying, and if you are in Pennsylvania, I'm sure you are aware of this. Residents were ordered to shelter in place after a Pennsylvania warehouse fire. A massive fire caused heavy damage to a warehouse in Abington Township, Pennsylvania, Monday night. All but 60 of the employees inside the building were accounted for. Witnesses said they heard an explosion at SPS Technologies when the fire started, and the blaze continued to smolder into Tuesday morning. It's still actively burning, Thomas McAvenny, Abington Township's emergency manager coordinator, told WCAU-TV. The 4-alarm blaze led officials to call on residents within a 1-mile radius to shelter in place because of the particulates generated from the fire. 3 school districts, Abington, Jenkintown, and Cheltenham, are all closed Tuesday, along with private and religious schools in the area because of the fire. The Southeastern Pennsylvania Transportation Authority said that the fire had affected service on 2 lines, Dolestown and Warminster. Warminster? Abington's Township Fire Marshal Office is investigating the fire, but a cause has not been determined. SPS Technology supplies aerospace fasteners and fittings. The company started as Standard Press Steel Company in Jenkintown in 1903. So this will be something that, we might get answers to going forward. But if you are in the Pennsylvania area, make sure that you are taking all precautions. And I can't believe I'm going to say this, but listen to your local government authorities. Use common sense, though. Well, the lawsuits are rolling in, and I do think on a legal level, this is going to be something interesting to follow. I don't know exactly who these lawsuits are going to try to include when we are talking about the DC versus Black Hawk, or the DC plane crash versus Black Hawk helicopter. So it will be interesting to see. I do expect just a stampede of these kind of wrongful death lawsuits to start coming out very soon, and it will be interesting to see where they lay blame. A high-profile aviation law firm on Tuesday filed the first legal actions related to the deadly January 29th Washington, D.C. plane crash, seeking $550 million on behalf of a wife of 16 years and her 3 children, passengers who all perished in the mid-air collision. The recent collision of American Airlines Flight 5342 with an Army Sikorsky UH-60 Black Hawk helicopter over the Potomac River killed every single person aboard each aircraft, a total of 67 people, including 40-year-old Casey Crafton of Salem, Connecticut. Casey was an incredible human being, attorney Bob Clifford with Chicago-based firm Clifford Law Offices said in a Tuesday statement. He was a giver, a loving husband, and a father. He enjoyed coaching his boys on their youth soccer and Little League baseball teams. They will be grieving him for the rest of their lives. That will never be the same. This family deserves answers about what happened to their loved one. Now, Crafton earned his Bachelor's of Science in Aviation Management from Bob Jones University in Southern Carolina and was returning from Wichita, Kansas on a business trip while working as a technical support manager at Guardian Jet, an aviation consulting firm, when the plane to D.C. crashed. Tuesday's filings are required for a case claim against the federal government, as well as separate filings for preservation of evidence following the deadly crash. The $250 million claim has been filed against the Federal Aviation Administration and the U.S. Army, which operated the Black Hawk. Clifford Law Offices is citing a report from the National Transportation Safety Board saying staffing in the control tower at Washington Reagan National Airport, DCA, at the time of collision was not normal, and there were communications issues between the tower and Flight 5342. The FAA told Fox News Digital that it doesn't have a comment on pending litigation. The Fox News Digital also reached out to the Army for comment. Obviously, they didn't comment. Now, staffing at... Oh, here we go. They had a little caption on a picture. The controller who was handling helicopters on the evening of January 29th was also instructing planes that were landing and departing from the airport runways, the Times reported. Those assignments are typically assigned between two controllers. The air tower control at Reagan Airport has been understaffed for years with 19 fully certified controllers as of September 2023. The FAA and the Controllers Union, however, call for 30 controllers in its staffing targets. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth previously told Fox and Friend on January 30th that officials will get to the bottom of what happened here. It is completely unacceptable in our nation's capital or anywhere. The military trains, and it trains robustly, and we're not going to stop training even though there's a pause on this unit, on this exercise, which is an important one. And we should have a pause until we get to the bottom of this, Hegseth said. We have to train safely. Something like this can never happen, and it's completely unacceptable. Well, I believe it's a preliminary report. They're still doing a lot of things. I think something came out about the helicopter's altimeter. I'll have to look at the article again. Look, I am not an airplaneologist, you guys. So we'll have to look at that. But it does seem like they're fully laying the blame on the federal government and the military and placing none of it on, the airplane. And I think that's, correct. I don't think there was anything that the airplane could have done. The helicopter was too high, for my very uneducated, aviation opinion. Well, it's not exactly, a tunnel around the world, but Meta will link us together. Meta will keep us together. Come, typhoon, whatever. Yes, I have reached the punch-drunk stage of insomnia. Meta, the parent company of Facebook and Instagram, confirmed plans Monday to build the world's longest subsea cable that will encircle the Earth and connect 5 continents. That's how we're going to meet the Leviathan. Yeah. We're just screwing around under the water. We wake up that monster from Cloverfield, and it's all over. Then we get struck by an asteroid, then a bunch of oarfish come up. I have figured out the apocalypse. You're welcome. Meta started it all. Facebook, it's all your fault. We should have stayed with MySpace. That's it. Everyone revert back to MySpace. We must stop this from happening. Project Waterworth will cost $10 billion to produce and install. The cable, measuring some 31,000 miles, will be supporting Meta's artificial intelligence projects. Oh good, let's give Skynet a circulatory system. How about no? How about we stop with this artificial intelligence? This is how Skynet starts. And I'm guilty too. Sanyo and the fun songs that I can create, that's how Skynet got me. Don't be like me. Let's stop Skynet before it happens. I don't think Arnold can take another turn as the Terminator. Because how do you write a android that ages? Gotta love the new Terminator writers. Like, look, the android aged. You're welcome. Thanks for explaining that. So, Project Waterworth will bring industry-leading connectivity to the United States, India, Brazil, South Africa, and other key regions, Meta wrote in a blog post. Project Waterworth will be a multi-billion-dollar, multi-year investment to strengthen the scale and reliability of the world's digital highways by opening 3 new oceanic corridors with abundant high-speed connectivity to drive AI innovation around the world. There are currently more than 600 underwater cable systems encircling the Earth, according to telecommunications market research firm Telegeography. Subsea cables account for more than 95% of international traffic across the world's oceans. Meta's new cable with 24 fiber pairs will give it a higher capacity, which would be laid at a depth of 23,000 feet. It will be buried in high-risk fault areas, including shallow waters near coast, to protect it from ships and other hazards. Last month, NATO launched a mission to boost surveillance of ships in the Baltic Sea after critical undersea cables were damaged last year. This project will enable greater economic cooperation, facilitate digital inclusion, and open opportunities for technological development in these regions, Meta said. These investments enable unmatched connectivity for our world's increasing digital needs. I don't know, this just sounds like what they tell you at the beginning of 1984. Like, this is good, and it will help you. And then it turns out Soylent Green is people. Or you're like, what is it? Not Blade Runner, Run, Logan, Run, where once you turn like 27, they off you. They've got a, clone, and once you get too old, they just off you. I mean, what is going... Again, maybe I don't understand technological things. Maybe I am and I hesitate to use this after the Boswell trial, a tinfoil hat kind of mood. But something about this seems fishy, and I don't trust Mark Zuckerberg. He is acting more human-ish lately, but we never know when, he's going to revert back to a pod person or a lizard person fully. Like, we don't know it. We need a 23andMe on Mr. Zuckerberg, because I need to know, like, what part human, what part Borg he is. And I'm okay if he just doesn't have emotions. I kind of think emotions are messy, and I like logic. So I just need to know, like, do you lay eggs to have children? Do you get to take a shower? Like, how do you work your scales? I'm interested. Mr. Zuckerberg, if you ever like to be interviewed by, a semi-professional funny-ish person, I'm here, and I promise not to ask you many, questions about your scale. Or whether, like most, reptiles, you might have a double dong. Or is that snakes? Anywho, I don't know, but you're always welcome here for an interview. Could you imagine? Oh my gosh. So what is it you say you do with your internet thing? Could you stop being evil for 5 seconds? Could you just do that? In more happy news, a wayward seal was found wandering the streets of Connecticut City. 'Cause he's so cute. I would take him home. I would have my own seal. He would come with me. He'd have a little bandana. I'd name him Seal. His favorite song would be Kiss from a Rose on the Wind. And we just sit there and look dramatically as we play it loudly going down the street. Come on, I'd have a seal named Seal. We would exploit the ever living hell out of that. My emotional support seal. Yes, they're squishy, they're sort of fluffy, and they look like puppies if they didn't have, they don't have little triangle ears. I'm just saying, I would adopt a seal. A young gray seal was found wandering the streets of New Haven, Connecticut, and police say no one knows how the animal ended up in the city. Oh my gosh, yes. Yes, I would. And then I'd be obnoxious and be like, I need my emotional support, seal to go into Walmart. The New Haven Police Department posted a photo to social media showing the seal crawling across the street with a patrol vehicle pulled up next to it. Meet the newest addition to the department, the police joked. The department said investigators do not know how the seal ended up in the city. And he didn't answer any questions because he said, I need a lawyer. The seal is smart. Be like the seal. Do not talk to cops without a lawyer. The seal was like, I plead the fifth, and I'd like to exercise my rights. Smart seal. Oh, he's so cute. I would just love him and cuddle him. The Connecticut Department of Energy and Environment was contacted, and the seal ended up in the care of Mystic Aquarium's animal rescue program. The aquarium says that the seal appears to be only a few weeks old, and the assessment found him to be lethargic, dehydrated, and underweight. The seal is now being given a special diet to help it recover so it can be released back into the ocean. Well, I'll miss you, seal, when you go back to the ocean. But I'm going to blast Kiss from a Rose on the Wind every day when I think about you. I'm going to light a candle for you. You'll always be sealed to me. A war robot designed for defense bizarrely performs DJ sets at a nightclub, a moment of fun. Now, maybe you need a defense robot with Eagles fans. What the heck went on at the Super Bowl? What is going on with people? We have lost our daggone mind. Are we humanoid or are we dancer? A San Francisco nightclub recently put on a DJ headlined by a robot designed for war. Phantom, a humanoid robot created by Foundation Robotics Labs, performed at Temple Nightclub for a 30-minute set. During an event billed Tech Gigaparty, an AI trade expo and networking event. Oh my God, I must go to all of these because could you imagine more, I have no idea, fish out of water reporting? Like, hi, my name is Mo in the Deep End, and I'm a Neo-Luddite. What is it you say you do here with your Harry Potter, devil magic on the computer? So how exactly do I take a screenshot? Oh my gosh, that would be awesome in a cringe-hilarious way. I really do need to start figuring out a way to get sponsored to go to places where I just look ridiculous. I'm okay with looking ridiculous and being in places where I'm, generally fish out of water. So that kind of works out for me. I just need to get people to pay for me to go do these things. Must become better. According to Timothy Karkaroff of San Francisco Gate, the robotic set was applaudable, but the fist bumps that came from the war machine were offbeat. The primary focus of Foundation Robotics Lab isn't making robots to DJ at nightclubs, but rather to build robots for national defense and military purposes. The robotics startup clientele include auto manufacturers, warehouses, and logistics firms, as well as the U.S. Department of Defense. Robots like Phantom are already being used in non-combat roles in the US military, like maintenance tasks or refueling aircrafts in remote areas. The Foundation is the only American robotics company building humanoid robots for national defense. Other robotics companies have prohibited weaponization of robots and promised to never use them in military roles. We're the opposite, co-founder Mike LeBlanc told San Francisco Gate. We believe that humanoids are going to be critical to the future of warfare, hence designing robots that are bigger, faster, and stronger. Unveiling of the humanoid robot as a DJ was the way for the company to show that the war machine can also be used for fun. Listen, it's going to be used as a waifu. Let's be real. All of this technology is going to make the most incredible, simulated girlfriend slash waifu. We are not using this for good. We are using this for smut. Let's be real. In 10 years, that's going to have a peen on it. And it's going to be able to, thrust on the beat. Going to have just, Despacito on, and he's just going to be on beat all the time. Alrighty, you guys. Well, I have made it to the end of this, and we have a lot of crazy news. I hope you guys are staying warm, safe, and toasty. There are so many places that are being affected by the snow and ice and cold. So, make sure you stay home if you can. Take extra time if you have to drive somewhere. Slowly tap on your brakes. Do not slam on them. And oh my God, I'm giving you guys the same speech I give to my kids when they're driving today. You guys are adult people, but there you go. Be careful, be careful. Be safe and careful, which is careful. Be careful. I hope you have a lovely day. I will be back at 10 o'clock. We are going to be looking at one of the preliminary hearings in the Secret Lover trial. I'll be kind of reading some articles, and then we'll get into about an hour-long hearing for that. So please join me. We will be running the Petty Express. I am going to take this time to rotate laundry, semi-clean the kitchen, and attempt to have a house that doesn't look like it should be on hoarders. Now, don't be peanut butter and jealous. I will be back, from my domestic goddessness to be on the Petty Express. So I will see you guys then.